What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well so far today. And we've got some more mini camp stuff to talk about. And this is also going to be the end of the conversation as it goes for the Seahawks mini camp because, as you can see on screen, we've had a little bit of a change in schedule. Mike Macdonald has chosen to not have the third and final day of the mini camp. It seems to be related to the fact that he was really happy with what he saw from the players. He thought they were giving maximum effort, and he likes where things are, so he's going to give everybody an extra day off, which is an interesting choice. We're not the only team that has done it. I think I read somewhere that the Broncos and Packers both did it as well. But it is interesting because, number one, it's like 6 weeks until training camp starts, so there's going to be a long layoff between now and then anyway. And also beyond that, we are installing a brand new offensive scheme and a brand new defensive scheme because we swapped out pretty much all the coaches. So we have a lot to work on that some of these other teams don't necessarily have because they brought everything back from last year. So it's certainly a bold choice, but I definitely get the sense that this was something that came from him being really happy with what he saw. So I'm not really going to question it or anything like that. If anything, it's a positive sign that he feels comfortable enough to do something like this because these days of practice that you get are precious, and we've now given up 2 of them because the final OTA session was also canceled for a completely different reason. But the fact that Macdonald feels like he can afford to give up a day of minicamp when he's already given up an OTA session is, I mean, I guess it's a positive sign. Although we won't really know for sure until the season starts. If the team goes out there and looks really unprepared and sloppy and unfamiliar with the way things are being done now, then maybe we look back at this and say, well, that was a big mistake. Don't want to see them do that again. But for now, it seems to be an indication of positive things. So yesterday was the second day of the minicamp, and it will be the final day of this particular minicamp. So let's talk about some of the things that happened. The main storyline in terms of what was happening on the field would be the defense. The defense really dominated the offense for the most part, which I think falls in line with expectations. Usually, defense is ahead of offense. But to run it down here real quick, there were 6 interceptions, according to Greg Bell, of the defense, by the defense of Geno Smith and Sam Howell in 11-on-11s. And according to Condota, he said there were 5 interceptions. So I don't know which one's actually true here. But either way, the defense had a very good day, very much a ball hawking day. Witherspoon had a pick. We had a pick 6 from Michael Jackson. I know Tyrese Knight had an interception as well. If it is the case that there were 5 interceptions, then Condota's got the right numbers here. He's got Geno Smith throwing 2 and Sam Howell throwing 3. So the defense seems like it's currently in a bit of a better spot. Also, I think Woolen, I'm not sure exactly where it was here, but I know that there is one thread, I think it's from Brady Henderson here, talking about how Woolen had a really nice interception over the shoulder on a deep ball from Smith to Metcalf. Might have not gotten both feet in bounds. That might be where the discrepancy comes from. Artie Burns had an interception as well. So we're seeing some ball hawking stuff from the secondary, which is obviously pretty nice. Now, seeing your quarterbacks throw a bunch of interceptions, not so nice. But I do think that it is within the reasonable expectations that the defense would be running ahead of the offense, because that's usually how it goes. I remember in the years where we had Russell Wilson, it felt like every year we would hear stories in training camp and mini camp about how, oh man, the offense looks terrible. The defense is eating their lunch. The defense is dominating them. And this was not the Legion of Boom. This was after the Legion of Boom when the defense wasn't even that good. They would still dominate early in training camp because the offense would just need time to get things together in a way that the defense didn't. And I know that we're doing new stuff defensively this year, but we're also doing new stuff offensively. So, yeah, a lot of interceptions, so you should be excited about that defensively. And You should be, I'm not going to say scared about it, but you should be maybe aware of it if you're thinking about the offense. So that was the main on-field storyline here. A couple of injury notes that we were able to pick up from the various beat reporters like Condota. JSN left practice early, but it's not serious. Shane Alt also left early, and I believe Macdonald indicated elsewhere that it was not serious, so nothing to be alarmed about. But obviously, JSN having a big second year is a big part of this team potentially having some success this year beyond what people are expecting. So any little hiccup in JSN's development is going to definitely raise some alarm bells, so hopefully he can get back out there. George Fant did not practice due to load management, so it doesn't seem to be a particular, like, notable injury. It seems more like just about, oh, he's an older player and they want to take it easy. Again, by the time the season starts, we hope that George Fant will be a backup. If not, then something went very, very wrong. So no sense in worrying too much about that. We did get some good news, though, on the injury front. Finally, something moving in the right direction here, and I really want to draw attention to this. Anthony Bradford was back after missing the last few weeks with the ankle injury. And I was getting really worried about that because at first it was like, well, it's just going to be a little thing. He'll be out a little bit. And then it kept going and going and going. And then finally, last day before we break for training camp, before training camp, rather, we finally get word that he's back out there. So great news there. He missed some important quality time, unfortunately, but that's going to happen. You know, injuries are going to happen. So Bradford, good to see him back out there. Another thing that came from this particular session was some stuff that Leonard Williams was saying before the Seahawks took the field to the VMAC. One thing he said that's really caught some people's attention is that he's been playing 6 different positions in Mike Macdonald's scheme. He obviously prefers hand in dirt because that's what he's used to, but there is a 2-point stance that he's starting to incorporate, and he's going to be utilizing it at some points during the season. But 6 different positions. So that's going to be one of the things that we really, really get out of this new Mike Macdonald defense that we were just not getting out of the previous defense. That's obviously, it gives the players a lot to think about, right? And I mean that on both sides. It gives our players a lot to think about, and it also gives the opposing offense a lot to think about. So I look at something like this, and it does occur to me, this could take a while to get going, but once it gets going, it should be really, really great. So I think everybody's going to have some degree of patience with this new regime. You certainly should be. And I think that it indicates that once the fruit of the labor is reaped, it's going to be really, really good. We also got some stuff from Witherspoon talking about, Macdonald talking about Witherspoon's energy and his football IQ. Some pretty positive stuff. Really liking what he sees with him. Talking about how smart he is. Talking about how quickly he picks it. Oh, excuse me. Bit my tongue there. How quickly he picks it up. So there's definitely been a rapport developed between Macdonald and Witherspoon, and love to see that. Obviously, Macdonald, that's probably one of the big reasons why he would be excited to come here, working with a player like Devin Witherspoon, who's been so incredible so far in his career. So, good stuff here. Draymond Jones working with the interior linemen and the outside linebackers during position drills. So, we are continuing to see more signs that he's going to be playing multiple positions this year, which makes sense. I mean, if Leonard Williams is playing multiple positions, 6 different positions, Draymond Jones should be playing at least a couple, right? So I like where this is going. It's not a good situation overall, the Draymond Jones stuff. It's just not a good situation, but we're making the best of it. And the situation was created elsewhere by the previous regime. I know John Schneider's still here, and he's still, part of the regime that brought in Draymond Jones, but the error of the Draymond Jones signing has been done at least partially by other entities that are no longer here. So all you can do now is make the best of the situation, and I feel like they are. So I like this. Let's see here. So Raekwon O'Neal continues to work at right tackle because Abe Lucas and Fant are out. And yeah, this is the Anthony Bradford thing. First time he's been there all spring. Macdonald did say that Bradford has a chance to start at right guard. And Christian Haynes was the other guy that he mentioned as well. So I don't think that should terribly surprise anybody. Should be a situation where Bradford and Haynes are competing for that starting job at right guard, and possibly whoever doesn't get it ends up kicking over to left. It depends on how this Tomlinson thing goes. I know they like what they see from him so far, but I remain unconvinced. And I think that is about it in terms of the stuff that we saw. It wasn't a ton, and it's too bad that we're not going to get a third day of it. But at the same time, they're doing it because they think they did enough. Can't be upset about that. All right. So I'm going to go and get out of here. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel about this. It could be a long time before we have more Seahawks news to report on. We are about 6 weeks away from training camp, apparently. That's what I saw from a couple other accounts. And who knows what's going to happen between now and then. Could be nothing. Could be a big bowl of nothing. The only thing that really could happen would be contract stuff and trades, and I'm not really expecting that much of that. Maybe there will be a contract move because we need cap space, but right now, I think we're just chilling. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think.